Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines we have here. Let's just get to it. SEC versus Ripple. Motion denied. Somebody roll that damn intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at Dig Perspectives at the top of the screen. Everything we're talking about here today. Give us a follow on TikTok at Digital Perspectives, no spaces. $1.295 trillion market cap at the time of making this video. Bitcoin is 30,100 plus. Ethereum 1,700 plus now. XRP at the number 7 spot is 40 cents. Very tight trading range of the last 24 hours or so, and it remains today. 40 cents, just ranging right there, very tight. Look at this from James Rule XRP. He sees I Trust Capital on the big screen via AT&T Sportsnet. How about that right there? Look at him, growing like crazy. You know, the only thing better than buying crypto is buying tax-free crypto, and I love doing it. And in fact, it reminds me I need to get a little more because I love buying tax-free crypto, and you could do it with I Trust Capital. Check out the link underneath the video. This, of all people, is Jay Clayton wins the gold medal for marathon level bold-faced goal. Shout out to Crypto Law. This right here is voted the best tweet of 2022 so far. Listen to what this guy is saying here. No payment flow for order flow. Listen.
What would you, if you were advising Gary Gensler right now or the SEC or Congress, what would you be telling them?
Do exactly what you're doing. Put the issue out there. Now let's get, and we've done this in the past in this very complex ecosystem, let's get people around the table to discuss this with that rigor. Let's not decide what's good or bad. And I think Chair Gensler has done a very good job of outlining 6 things yesterday that need to be looked at. This was just one of them. Let's, before we make any proposals, before we make any judgments, get people around the table to discuss exactly what you and I were just discussing.
Okay, but let me ask you this. If you're an investor today, public investor in Robinhood, for example, or you're a customer of Robinhood, but do it as an investor, would you be telling them this is an existential threat that has a high degree of likelihood of effectively killing this business, or at least this business model as it's known today? Or would you say, you know what, I've lived in Washington long enough, I've been around the hoop, this isn't really going to happen?
Look, you know that I'm an optimist, and you know that I believe in this country. One of the great things about this country is we do have due process and open debate around these types of issues. Regulation is almost always an existential threat to businesses. That's why we do these things in an open and deliberative way. And I believe that in an open and deliberative way, people will be able to make a choice about the type of business model that they select.
I mean, this is unbelievable. This is the same guy who did not sit around at a table and did not take in other people from different areas of the emerging market class of crypto to do exactly what he's hailing and praising Gary Gensler to do. This is sickening right here, I tell you. And it really, the only thing that drives me more crazy than listening to this guy talk in such a two-faced way is Squawk Box CNBC allowing him to be the expert analyst on the show. It's mind-boggling to me. Eleanor Tarrant is at Consensus right now, and she is reporting on the CFTC's vision for crypto regulation. The panel chairman, CFTC Rostin Benham, the head chair at the CFTC, says we don't have to reinvent the wheel to regulate crypto. Let's use the existing infrastructure we have and leverage our expertise to evolve with markets and technology and improve the framework. We don't want to set policy by enforcement. Well, there's a refreshing comment. Former CFTC Commissioner Dawn Stump, some at the SEC believe they have ultimate authority. I think it's questionable whether the Howey test is a good fit. They're trying to take a statute, that was designed years ago and make it fit modern technology. We really need Congress to provide clarity. But again, there are elements of this bill like the ancillary asset section, and then line 35 seems to kind of leave the door open for whoever's interpreting whatever asset they're looking at to decide, well, I can say it's a security or a commodity based on line 35, giving me the freedom to do so. There are a couple spots in there, and there are a lot of good takeaways in that bill. But there's to me, the bill doesn't create any bright lines to where it puts the SEC back in its own lane. That, to me, remains to be seen. And I keep saying this, but where's Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse with the major endorsement of this bill? I don't hear it. It hasn't happened as of yet. So something must be hitting them off as well. Hopefully we'll hear from them soon on the matter. Ron Hammond here from Blockchain Association, I believe he's with now. Yep. And he says, not sure what's more exciting, the amount of people from the industry going to Consensus this year or those from D.C. going. For many members of Congress, regulators, and staffers, this will be their first crypto conference, and I can't think of a better venue. If you're around, let him know. Wonderful. I hope they all get a really fast education learning curve on what's going on, because, again, here's more of that undertow that the bill and the creator, one of the writers of the bill, Senator Lummis, says most of cryptocurrencies are securities, contradicting the bill that she just introduced. You know, this is the concern. That's why it's surprising to learn when on Wednesday, Senator Lummis seemed to do an about face and agree that most cryptocurrencies, in fact, securities. Think of it. You know, it's like she introduced the major crypto legislation this week that most designate most cryptocurrencies as commodities. But the reality is, if you've paid attention to Senator Lummis for any length of time, she sees Bitcoin and Ethereum as commodities. Clearly, she's made that clear. And then pretty much everything else as a security. And the way that they make it seem and appear that I've discovered so far, or what I've picked up on is that they say half the market is securities and half the market is commodities. But what they're really talking about when they say about 50-50 split or 60-40, what they're saying is market cap. And the first two tokens are Bitcoin and Ethereum, and their market cap makes up about half or so, give or take, on the day of the crypto market cap. So they can speak that way and make you feel like they're talking about more than just two assets. That's the kind of verbiage we got to pay attention to. And this from B. Gromit right here, there's some more verbiage to pay attention to. It's this guy. I get the creeps every time I see him, let alone hear him talk, but you're not going to like it either. So we're dealing with the U.S. and domestic approach here, which is obviously, it's had its moments, and hopefully we do get something out of that bill that can be crafted and kind of, you know, worked into shape to where it really does give us the bright lines we need so innovation can thrive. You know, that's what this is really about here. It's about providing the same fertile ground so we can all have a level playing field, not just two assets out of the entire 19,000, for which we know that there are many that do not even belong in this space. So I think we'll get it right. I have to see it half full, glass half full, right? Great Reset creator had no idea that he was filmed without a hidden button with a hidden button camera, and boasts about the puppets he has in Davos Mafia bag. We have them all in our bags: politicians, media, and especially the experts and scientists. This is Klaus Schwab, the creator of the Great Reset and from the World Economic Forum. And listen to what he says.
We have, if I look at our stakeholders, we have business, of course, as a very important audience, and we have politics, we have continuous partnerships with many governments around the world, and of course we have NGOs, we have trade unions, we have all those different parts. Media, of course, and very important experts and scientists and academia. Because if we are looking at the future, I think we should look at new solutions, and the new solutions will be very much driven by technological developments.
And we even have, you even have religious leaders, right?
We have religious leaders, we have social entrepreneurs, very important social entrepreneurs.
It's really unbelievable and quite frightening to me, to be honest with you, the kind of manipulation that he's explaining there. Now, this is the BIS and Augustine Carstens, and they're about to tell you what the real deal is in the heart of money, the soul of money. Let him tell you.
Trust in money remains the bedrock of stability. My main message today is simple. The soul of money belongs neither to a big tech nor to an anonymous ledger. The soul of money is trust. And central banks have been and continue to be the institutions best placed to provide trust in the digital age.
And honestly, that's all you need to hear, because that is him and his professional way of telling everyone we will remain in control, in power, and relevant. We are not going to be outdone by crypto or some kind of ledger, some kind of technology, right? Or another bank, right? We are going to remain the all powerful. That's how they're going to do it. CBDCs and regulated stable coins. Mr. Intuitive asked a question. We've been talking about it here on the channel, and I believe that he's a lawyer as well, even if my memory serves me right, or in the legal field one way or another. So this guy knows, he's sharp. He says, "Dear Attorney Jeremy and John Deaton, wouldn't it be wise to settle with Ripple before the judge rules on the Hinman issue?" What a great question. Wouldn't an order compelling disclosure set precedent for other companies that the SEC decide to go after? This is something that, we've even talked about this on this channel. At what point does the bow break for the SEC? They don't want to risk losing any kind of precedent, let alone the big windfall of a settlement and a huge fine. John Deaton says that makes sense. Therefore, we know the SEC won't do it. Pretty remarkable, but I tell you what, a great question. Now, we have some breaking news coming up too. One is the Ripple defendants have filed their response to the SEC's motion to seal its opposition to the amici request to participate in the Daubert hearing. The SEC's motion to seal the amici response and the Ripple defendants' response. I want to give you this from Jeremy Hogan, who sums it up here best. Per Ripple's reply letter, we can get an idea what is happening here. It seems, I'm assuming here, there were hostile communications made to the SEC's expert witness, or perhaps just hostile online comments, and the SEC doesn't want their expert's physical address disclosed. So they obviously filed to have everything sealed right here. But guess what? The court denies the SEC's motion to seal and orders it to be filed by June 14th. A redacted version of the brief and exhibits under seal, redacting information only to the extent necessary to safeguard information sought to be filed under seal. So in other words, the expert's address, right? His address and personal information. I'll tell you something. I don't think, first of all, shout out to Jim Filan for all this information, and Attorney Hogan and John Deaton and everybody else. But I tell you this, I don't think you have to be a lawyer to start to see that the judge is sending it back. I mean, they responded like that. The judge responded back like that. Said it's a hard no for us. You want to take his address out? Fine. But everything else you submit to us, and it better not be over redacted, right? I think the judge is clearly sending the signal that this show is coming to an end, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, we take a look at this from XRP since birth, kindergarten, crypto kid. Now that's a name. Look at this chart right here. Now, what if Mr. Intuitive is on point there? What if there is a settlement that is kind of forced because they don't want to risk some kind of precedent happening if the judge were to say, turn the documents over, and then they go settle? But that precedent could be set for another company. So maybe the advantage to settle, and I'm not a lawyer, 12 years short of a law degree, but at the end of the day, maybe the opportunity to settle and still get a big windfall fine for the SEC is the moment before the judge actually makes a ruling on the decision about the emails. And could that play in conjunction with this chart at all? Remember, charts are indicators. They're not predictors. They're indicators. This could break to the upside or it could break to the downside. We're just at a point where we're going to find out what this formation does. That's all that means. So keep it in your hat. Pay attention to what's going on. And don't forget, the Senate Banking Committee greenlights Michael S. Barr, the former Ripple advisor, former U.S. Treasury member, as the top Fed regulator, and he will be dealing with helping to regulate stable coins and some cryptocurrency activity. This is the right guy for the job at the right time. Hit the like and subscribe, leave a comment below. Things are moving fast, ladies and gentlemen. I'll catch you on the next one.